Welcome to the Practically Imperfect podcast. I'm Linzie.
And I'm Orson.
Orson, how was your couple of weeks? I know it was kind of different and kind of hard.
What do you mean by it was different and hard? Like, elaborate on that just a little bit.
Well, I'm sure you can guess what has happened with you the past couple of weeks. That was my question. We'll get right into it, I guess.
Well, I mean, we always do, I suppose. Well, so what she's talking about is we went up north, and up north, I mean, we went into Salt Lake, and I met with a surgeon because I've had Crohn's disease for like the last 6 years.
It's been longer. We've been almost married for 6 years.
7 years, I suppose, because I got it right before I met you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably 7 years.
So
then.
probably about 7 years. And I've been on the same medication for almost 6 years because I got on the medication that I've been on for, so when we got married, I was on this medication called Stellara. And I was giving myself a shot about every 8 weeks or so.
In his stomach.
In my stomach, yeah. So that's kind of how I would manage the medication. There was right after I got diagnosed. Well, first of all, I spent a couple weeks in the hospital, and this was right after I'd moved here, so I didn't know anybody, and so I was basically in the hospital by myself, which is a fun experience.
What was happening to you? Why'd you go to the hospital?
So what they ended up finding was, because I had Crohn's disease, but I didn't really know it yet, what was happening was my intestines were getting blocked, and so it was basically inflammation would happen inside of my intestines, and that's what would cause the inflammation and cause the for those of you that are on looking at my camera right now, I'm kind of using my hand to show what an intestine. A circle.
Yeah, he's just doing a circle
with my hand
that's open,
and so when it's inflamed, that circle gets tighter and tighter, which makes it a lot harder for food and different things as you continue to eat, for it to pass through your intestines normally, and then obviously you have all your normal functions as a human.
Yeah.
And so what was happening with me is I wasn't having any of those normal functions, because my intestines were so inflamed at a specific area.
Not your whole intestines. Just a small area. But
Crohn's can be found from mouth to anus, I guess is what they say.
Yes, which is crazy.
So I guess from what I understand, I'll have it for the rest of my life. I mean, and I'll get a little bit more into a little bit of my thoughts in terms of what I think about having to talk about surgery in the first place.
Yeah, so that's why
I ended up in the hospital, was because I had a bowel obstruction is what they call it, and so they had to stick tubes up my nose. And I actually have if you go to my YouTube channel, Orson Wilkins, I have this YouTube video that I recorded where I'm in the hospital, and it starts off with me in the hospital bed with tubes up my nose. And
it's so sad.
Yeah,
you look so little and skinny.
Yeah, you can go watch it if you want. But It's on my Orson Wilkins YouTube channel if you're interested. Go give it some love.
So,
anyways,
yes.
Let me continue the story.
Okay. Well, you sounded like you were stopping.
No, I'm not stopping. I'm never stopping. Anyways.
What the fuck? Okay.
I'm tired, all right?
Yeah, we're so tired, you guys.
O'clock. Scarlett.
It's way past our bedtime, you guys. We can tell.
It is way past.
I'm literally wearing pajamas right now.
Okay, let me get back into the story so I can finish this.
Yeah.
Essentially what had happened is I was on the same medication for the last 6 years, and ultimately this year I've really started to notice it not starting to work as much. I scheduled a colonoscopy. They did this colonoscopy, and they found out that obstruction inside my bowel was still as bad as it was when they first diagnosed me.
You're making it sound like you've just been on one medication. You've tried a lot of different medications.
Right. Well, yeah.
You've tried steroids.
There was a year period or a 2-year period where I was trying a lot of different things.
Right.
I had 4 colonoscopies in those 2 years.
Yeah.
To try to see what was working, what was not working. And ultimately, I was on like prednisone, and that was giving me acne. It made me all puffy, and just like if you look at our wedding pictures, Lindsay like hates them because I don't look like me, I guess.
Yeah. So he was on this medication, prednisone, when we got married, as he said. And so all of our wedding photos, Orson looks so different. And of course, when we were like getting married, I don't even remember, because when I met you, you weren't on that medication, so you looked like yourself. Like, I don't even remember a time being like, whoa, Orson looks kind of different. Because I saw you like every day, you know, when that happens. But looking back, oh my gosh, you guys, Orson looks like a different person. So there are no wedding photos of us in our house because it's just like, that's not Orson. He looks puffy, and I just feel so bad for you because your wedding day, you want to like look your best. And yeah, anyway.
So I still felt like I looked my best. At least the best that I could in that season of life.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just like you look like a different person, point blank, period. Like, that doesn't look like you at all.
Yeah. So should I finish
yes.
kind of what we kind of leading up? So essentially, because of the last colonoscopy I did, the doctor was like, hey, you need to actually seriously think about possibly getting surgery. Mm-hmm. And the doctor and I, we've developed a pretty close friendship.
Yeah, we love him. Dr. Miller in St. George, Utah, we love you.
Yeah, he was, especially when I got diagnosed and I was going through that 2-year period of trying a ton of different medications, always in the office. I used to get shots in my butt too every single week, along with prednisone, along with like
things.
infusions where they'd, anyways. And so he was really watching my case closely for a while because he just felt bad, and he wanted to.
Young.
I was young and lived here by myself, and I didn't have family. And so anyways, he was kind enough, and he came to our wedding, and he gave us a present. And anyways,
yeah, and he, after one of his colonoscopies, I can't remember if we were married yet. I don't think we were. And I picked you up after your colonoscopy, and he was talking to me, and you were like all loopy, so you probably don't remember this, but he was like, you're one of those cases, man, where I like think about at night, like like, you know, which I think is like really sweet. And I could just tell that he cares. Like, I can just tell that he, like, you're special in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if that special would be the right word, but he did care, and
he looks out for you, I think.
Yeah, he looked out for me during that season, and that meant a lot. But essentially, after this last colonoscopy, he was just like,
which you had in like April, I believe.
It was like March or April.
Yeah,
right around that time frame, and
you hadn't had one. You were very overdue for a colonoscopy.
Yeah,
you're supposed to go like every year or two.
Every few years, yeah, at least. So essentially so Dr. Miller is somebody that would try to push the surgery off as much as possible. And because there haven't been any improvements with me trying medications, with me trying diets, and the diets I haven't really been super strict with, but I've been trying to eat a lot healthier. And I would say
this year you've been the most healthy for sure. And it's gotten worse this year. So,
yeah. Well, anyways, because none of those things are really working, or we're not seeing much improvements, and that's why he's talking about, okay, you need to go in, just remove that portion that is obstructed or inflamed, and just remove that out. And that's essentially not going to give you a clean slate necessarily, because you'll still have Crohn's disease, because it can be anywhere from your mouth to anus, and I don't love saying that.
And can it like grow back or something? That's probably
if you don't manage the inflammation correctly and you're not careful, then yes, it can come back. And that's what I
wonder if that's rare.
In terms of
like if you get surgery to take it out and it like comes back, like I wonder if that's like rare, if that happens often. I don't know.
I mean, from what I understood, I was in Dr. Miller's office talking with one of his nurses, the person that I typically will meet with on a regular basis every 6 months or so, even though I haven't in a long time. But
yeah, Orson's been, what's the word I'm looking for? Neglecting the doctors, yes, which isn't good. He needs to, yeah, we've been bad at that. And I say we because I should also like be on top of things too, not just leaving it all on you.
I mean, it's my cross to bear, if you will, I suppose. Like,
I know,
it's
but
my
I should
bit.
be encouraging you.
Well, that's nice of you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, the conversation that I had with this nurse was just something about how she also told me that 90% of patients with Crohn's disease ultimately end up getting some sort of surgery happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that when I end up with a bag, that's like a very slim chance. I mean, she said it's not
poop
zero.
bag.
Yeah, like, like those little bags that
Mhm.
they basically turn your intestines inside out, and that's
Crazy.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah. A lot of people have bags, you guys. We were looking up on TikTok of like, oh, Crohn's disease, like surgeries. Every single one of them had bags, and we're like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I was like,
Orson
am I gonna?
was just like,
I was like, I do not want to bat. Like, what in the world? Like, this is not about
Yeah.
to be my life. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, not like this young.
I know. I would have been. That would have threw me for a loop. I mean, I guess it's still possible that it could happen, but
Yeah.
like the chances are very, very slim, is what she was telling me.
But it's not zero.
And, I mean, they could cut me open and be like, holy crap, this is terrible. Which
I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think it will, because of the fact that I haven't been back to the hospital since I got diagnosed. I've almost gone back
A couple times.
and it's only been this year. Really, for the most
Mostly,
part.
yeah.
But really, when it comes to how bad it's really been, I feel like if it's been worse, and I've always been working out, I've always tried to keep my health in check, I've always been taking the medication, and I haven't missed, and so it's like I've been consistent with the things that I know I need to be doing. I just haven't been seeing the doctor, which is really not that big of a deal, but I've been consistent with the basics, trying to stay healthy, taking the medication. So because of that,
Sometimes you neglect your medication.
well, I push it off a few weeks. Yes, I have done that before.
Mm-hmm. Or
Anyways.
a month. I'm just saying, just because Orson he's not anti-doctor by any means, but I mean, if he's feeling good, like his stomach is fine, he's like, oh, I don't need the medication, so I won't order it. And then weeks come and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. And I'm like, well, your medication was due a month ago. Hello. So that does happen if you're like, oh, I'm feeling good. So Orson, I feel like now is like, okay, it doesn't matter how good I feel. I still need to keep up on my medicine to keep it that way, to not keep it from getting worse. But
Well, essentially, as far as to kind of wrap this whole thing up here,
Yeah.
is like I met with this nurse this week. I just got a CT scan today, and they're going to send that over to the surgeon. He's going to look at it to make sure that it's really only this one small spot that needs to be removed, and so on and so forth, to make sure that there's nothing else that has to really happen if I were to get the surgery. And it feels like right now that we're leaning more towards the direction of getting the surgery. And
yeah.
when I was first talking to you about this, I was like, I almost feel like a failure in a sense, because I'm somebody to see a success story, and I'm somebody that also I really think meditation and different holistic methods could really, really help. I think, and I would also see success stories of people with Crohn's disease and stuff like that, saying how they implemented these techniques and stuff like that, and they were able to get their body to the point to where it looks as if the disease was never there in the first place. And so I hear these types of stories online and books and different resources that I partake in, and I am somebody to think, well, why not me?
Yeah.
Like, why can't that be me? And I've always been someone to know, and in my gut, to be like, okay, I know I want to be healthy, I know I want to be an athlete, I know that's the type of person that I want to be, and I'm working on becoming that. Hence part of the reason why I really have started eating a lot cleaner and choosing what different types of food I put in my body to fuel the workouts and stuff instead of. Anyway, so I know who it is that I'm trying to become in that regard. And so when we were talking about surgery, I was like, dang, this is something that I never really thought I would do. I always thought I would just kind of figure it out, and I would get so
healthy.
it's like, to the point, it's kind of made me realize in a sense that it seems like I didn't try these more holistic measures really soon enough, because what the doctors and everyone's telling me is that we are at the last resort at this point, because nothing has really made it better. It's just keeping it at the same spot from not getting worse. And we're starting to see, especially this year, that it is slowly getting a little bit worse.
Yeah.
As I continue, like the medication, because I've been on it for so long, is not as potent and all that sort of stuff. And so right now, like the nurse that I had the conversation with this week was basically telling me that by now, like that intestine has been inflamed for so long that it's turned into scar tissue. And so there's no really bringing it back to where they want to see it.
Yeah.
And whenever I take the medication, all of that medication is going directly to that one small spot in my intestines to try and combat the inflammation that's there, instead of going throughout my entire GI tract and really preventing Crohn's in every area.
Which I feel like is the bag. Is if it goes everywhere, you'll probably need a bag.
Well, she was saying the people that need the bag really just neglect everything. They push out their medications. They really don't care about what they eat. They just they don't exercise. They don't do any of those types of things.
That's what she said?
And then those people end up having to go back for surgery every 6 years or so, because they just don't really care. And so they get their intestines taken out and stitched back together, and then ultimately it just gets to the point to where they don't have any more that they can remove, so they have to get it back.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so what she was telling me, that as I continue to eat better and become that person that I know as an athlete that I want to be, and I continue to take the medications, which is a key part of it, I guess.
Yeah, which I know you're sad about that, because you don't want to keep taking the medications. Yeah,
I would definitely prefer to not have to rely on medications my whole life, and maybe that is still a possibility. But if the way that I'm trying to look at all of this, and again, I know I already said this, but to try to wrap this up, right, is the way that I'm looking at it, and something that I've learned especially the last few years, is some of the best things in life, at least the majority of the best things in life, come in the most unexpected ways. And I have always wanted to be able to, like, for example, get to 215 in lean, and then do a bodybuilding competition and do these Ironmans. And right now I'm training for a marathon, and I'm making progress towards that, and I'm doing well in training and different things like that. I'm able to eat what I need to, but I still get bloated, and it's not like... Anyways, the way that my inflammation has been working right now, and the way that my Crohn's has been acting up in my body currently, is it's making it a lot harder for me to gain weight to get to 215 in lean, to fuel my body in such a way to where it fuels my workouts and different things like that. And so I never really thought about surgery as being the path that I would go in order for me to be able to accomplish this stuff. And now it kind of seems like, well, this is something that I was never expecting. Maybe this is exactly maybe this will give me exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people out there nowadays that are just like, surgery is bad, doctors are bad, and you need to do holistic stuff. And as much as I agree with all of those things, I still feel like there's some value in listening to what your doctors still have to say, because they've seen thousands of patients, most likely, with your same exact circumstances and same situations.
They know what they're talking about. Like, I am so not doctors are evil, like, side of things. Like, I understand, like, of course he's a surgeon, that's how he gets paid. The surgeon is going to say, you need surgery, because duh. Like, I understand that point of it, but if they're like spitting out facts to you, you're kind of have to be like, all right, like, this is what it is, you know?
Yeah. And modern medicine has come a long way, and I'm grateful that because if it was like the 1920s, I'd be screwed.
Right?
There's no, like, I would just be in pain all the time, and like I'm grateful that this is even the option.
Yeah.
Is this the option that was my selfish desire? No, it's not. But in reality, there's still a lot of good that can come from this. And even after I get the surgery, I can be even more proactive and really watch the type of things that I'm putting in my body and substitute different types of oils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And choose better, more holistic methods in terms of
keeping it down
and
now.
keeping it down. But it's like when I first got diagnosed, it was just, I wasn't really in a position to where I wanted to really put a whole lot of effort into doing all of that.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a more point in my life to where if I get the surgery, I can put more effort into doing more of those meditations, really focusing on like what foods I put in my body and exercising and all of those types of things. Whereas when I first started, it was very much of I'm a single guy living in a town that I don't really know anybody in. I'm just trying to figure out life.
You were 19. Like, you were a child when you were first diagnosed. So, of course, you didn't have it all figured out or really thought of the future of your Crohn. So now that you're 26, it's more like, okay, like, I want to be healthy. I want to get this under control. And if taking out that inflamed portion helps with that, then so be it, you know? What's wrong? Orson keeps looking at the ceiling.
No, I just thought I heard something like...
I heard something too, but I don't know. Orson always thinks there's lights above us that they're going to come down on us.
Well, the problem is, like, so I helped set up this whole studio, right?
Yeah.
And, like, there's these, like, clamps that go on the top of ceilings. So,
Yeah.
like, you know those tiled ceilings that you see in, like, these, like, the office,
Yes.
for example? Like a normal office space, there are these typical tile ceilings that you can hang these clamps on and then ultimately hang a light from them. But these were different, and so I like Jimmy rigged it, and I'm just like, I ended up buying these safety straps that tie onto the lamp just in case it falls to try to. Anyways, I just heard like some cracking. I'm like, what is happening?
I know, but how many months have these been up, these lights? Like, so long.
Yeah,
like, they're fine.
They've been up for,
at least
3.
6. Oh, okay. I was going to say at least 6. Oh, you said at least 3.
Maybe it has been 6. I don't know. It's been a minute for sure. Anyway, so
that's Orson's health update. He's going to probably have surgery here soon. We don't know when quite yet because his doctor or the surgeon has to look at his CT scan that he took today just to make sure the plan is still the plan. So anyway,
it'll probably be sometime in mid-October is my selfish desire for that to happen because I'm still training for the marathon. And if I get the surgery before the marathon,
there's no way you can't do this.
Yeah, I won't be able to do the marathon because I have to.
You'll be skinny.
I won't be able to do anything for 6 weeks.
Yeah. So sad. I'm so sorry. That's going to be so hard for Orson.
It'll be a good blank slate though. Like I'll get the surgery and then I'm going to really dedicate a lot of time and effort because like I
think you can like, I just don't think you can lift weights or something. Because then, I don't know. I think you can maybe you can run. I don't know. No idea. But we don't want to risk it because the doctor was like, if you don't follow the, like, what protocols, then stuff in your stomach, it'll be really bad. So we don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, anything else you need to add?
You know what? Like, that's honestly pretty much it, like with my update. I mean, I told Lindsay on the way over here because we came into this episode, we're like, hey, what do we talk about?
Yeah,
as we do with a lot of episodes, to be honest with you. And I was just like, I don't really want to talk about it that much because I feel like people don't really care. Like, it's not really that interesting. It's like, oh, that sucks.
I would care. That I like knowing about. I'm like nosy, I guess. So I like knowing things about people. And this is just who you are and what's going on. I
know, but it's just more of like, I don't know. To me, it's just more of a thing I would think of it like, oh, wow, okay, that sucks. But like,
that's mean.
I don't know.
You would think that for someone else? I mean, if a content creator you really liked came on and was like, hey guys, this is what I'm going through, you would literally be like, okay, who cares?
Okay, when you put it that way,
no.
I suppose I would not do that.
Yeah. Okay, is that all? Question mark?
Yes, that is all.
Okay. So what should we talk about? Nothing? Okay, because I can go. So, okay, what? You literally have no words.
I had no words.
No words. Okay. So, what I kind of wanted to talk about, actually, we can talk about a couple different things. We can talk about trying to conceive baby number 2 and how our trying to conceive journey with Scarlett happened, because we're kind of going through it right now again. Or we can talk about how hands-on dads shouldn't be a thing. Which one do you want to talk about?
I feel like the hands-on dads one would be a little bit more of a juicy topic in terms of we get to share like our real raw thoughts and opinions.
Okay.
I feel like that's what people like to listen to more.
Okay.
I mean,
but we should definitely talk about like trying to conceive, because this is like a family podcast.
All right, fine. Let's start with that then. Go.
No, I was gonna say like maybe a future episode. Like eventually we should talk about that. But okay. So basically, I was talking about Orson the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this would probably be something like good to talk about on the podcast." I saw a post about, it was just like an appreciation post for her husband, whatever, and she used in the caption that he is such a hands-on dad, and I was like, you know what? I freaking hate that.
No, I think it's because you saw this post and it was like, oh wow, he's such a hands-on dad, and then the caption was like, yeah, I didn't marry an effing loser.
I've seen those too. I've seen those TikToks where people compliment your husband by saying he's such a hands-on dad, and you're just like, well, duh.
Like that's bare minimum type of thing.
Yeah, literally bare minimum. And so what I want to talk about is how to not pick a loser of a husband who's not going to be a hands-on dad. Like, I don't really know what to talk about with that topic, as far as just like...
So then why did you want to talk about it if you don't really know what to talk about with the topic?
Well...
Do you see what I mean?
I'm trying to think of how to describe... Okay. Or offend either.
Here's... Maybe this will kind of help. So it's like... It seems like... Right, there's this stigma or this... assumption in, I guess, modern culture, and maybe it's starting to shift a little bit, maybe it's not, but for quite a while it was very common for like the wife or the woman in the relationship to come home, or not even come home, stay home, make food, take care of the kids, and then dad comes home and is there.
Yes.
He goes to work and provides for the home. And then he just comes home. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe what you're trying to get at is like how that is not as acceptable as you think it should be. It's not. I think I said that backwards.
Yes,
but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I get what you're saying. The bar is so low for men in general, for dads especially, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Okay, well, here's a question for you. So it's like you've only been, and I think it's important to also only try to speak where you've been. Okay. And what you've experienced. Okay. And so it's like, my question for you would be, is what about, like, what gives you the ability to kind of talk through this, or like why, like what opinions do you have? Because it's like your real relationship, your first real relationship was with me.
Yes.
And we got married. Mm-hmm. And then as far as I'm concerned, for my sake, yeah, I had, I guess, a longer relationship in high school. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's high school, mm-hmm. and I don't really count it. Yeah. And so after high school, you were technically my only long-term relationship, but then we got married really fast. So
yeah,
it's like,
right?
So do you kind of see where my question is coming from?
The reason why, it's because people have made comments to me of, wow, Orson does so much. And I'm like, does he though? Or does he just do his fair share, in my opinion? Like, I just think it's sad how, like I said, the bar is very low for dad. So this is literally our dynamic, you guys. So I I go to work part-time 2 days a week. One of those days, Orson is with Scarlett all day long. The other day, my mom watches her, so Orson can work too. And just that alone will shock people. I remember the first time someone made a comment about you and your dad abilities was when Scarlett was 2 weeks old. I posted a reel on Instagram, and it was like our nighttime routine, or like the middle of the night wake ups. And it was like she woke up at like 10 a.m., 2 a.m., and 4 a.m. And I did the 10 p.m. Oh, I think I said 10 a.m. I meant 10 p.m. I did the 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. one. And then I switched and it said dad's turn at 4 a.m. And you did the whole feeding because I pumped so she would have bottles. Mm-hmm. So Orson was able to feed her, changed her diaper, burped her, literally the whole thing. So we filmed that and posted it. And there was a comment that was like, wow, like, I know, like, most dads won't even attempt to even change a diaper, let alone do a whole feeding. And I'm just like, what? Are you kidding? Like, I just don't think that should be surprising. I don't think that should be, like, if that is your reality, I don't think you should be like, well, that's just how it is. Like, no, you should tell your husband, you should tell your dad to kind of step up more. Like, it's not that hard. Some dads don't even know how to take care of their kids, watch their kids for a full day even, without blowing up the mom's phone of like, what do I do with this? Because really, it's not that hard if you just spend a whole day. Like, let's say that the dad like works all day and like pretty much like has no time to like take care of the kids, right? I feel like literally like a job. Like, if the mom needs to go to town or wants a day to herself, without the dad blowing up her phone, that the mom you need help. Literally like a job. Like, you just need to watch for one day of how she does things and then do it, and then there you go. It's not that hard. Anyway, what are your thoughts on that? I kind of went off there.
So as I kind of was listening to you talk, I part of me also wants to play a little bit of the devil's advocate to also try to put ourselves in the other shoes, right? And I also want to make it clear that there's like, I feel like I don't want to forget about the fact that there are a lot of amazing dads out there that might not be as hands-on, but they're doing their part in other ways that their wives really love, and like different relationships have different dynamics. Okay,
yes,
so,
but if you are a mom,
hold on.
Okay.
But with that being said, I think, and what I would say to kind of what you said is, it's really more about raising, like, there's been a standard that has been set kind of throughout culture, especially in the more older days where it was more traditional for the wife to stay home and the dad to come home, and like kind of what I was explaining earlier, to where there's been that standard that's been set as far as like the husband comes home and takes care of the family at work. And there has slowly been a little bit of shift, and maybe I am only saying it because I'm around it a lot more and that's who I choose to follow.
Yeah.
Are other dads and other people out there that are raising that standard.
Right.
And keeping and holding the standard. So I feel like it's more about all genders, no matter who, whatever you identify as, is that you need to raise your standard in who you believe you are in the first place, and have enough confidence in yourself that you know that you deserve somebody that does all these things.
Yeah.
And so you not only need to raise your standards, but that's the first thing you need to do, is raise your own standards about who you are and who you believe you are.
Right.
And then you also raise the standards in terms of the kind of partner you think you deserve. And so it's like I feel like a lot of women, and I don't love speaking on this because I'm not a woman.
What
So it's like, I was going to say, like, I feel like a lot of women end up in some of these types of relationships because there's some sort of belief that they have in themselves that they don't feel like they're worth the type of partner that they ultimately want. And so they end up bringing these other partners into their lives that ultimately just take advantage or do bare minimum, or they don't have the kind of standards that you're kind of talking about that I've kind of set for our relationship, for example. And so I just want to, like, it's not necessarily, it's hard to just place the blame on, like, oh, this hands-on dad thing shouldn't even be a thing, because it's like, if it's also the woman, like, it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
It's not just the husband. Like, yes, I agree, the husbands and all parents out there need to raise their standards and be better. I was thinking about that the other night while I was putting Scarlett down to bed. It's like, I'm sitting here, my phone's in my pocket, and I'm watching Scarlett just kind of walk around and kind of do her thing before bed, get her wiggles out, and so on and so forth. And I remember sitting there wanting to pull out my phone and start looking at it and scrolling. And I was just like, be better. Like, are you really that short attention span to where you can't just sit in this damn chair and be present with your daughter? You have to pull out your phone in this moment to distract yourself from what? Whenever we pull out our phones to scroll, we're distracting ourselves from the life that we're currently living, because it's not exciting enough, because it's not exactly what we wanted it to. So we pull out our phones because that's more exciting. That's fulfilling that short-term dopamine hit that we ultimately want, because we're not patient enough to actually follow through with the things that we want in our lives, and we're just too impatient to just keep going and not. Anyway, so I was just like, I found myself getting frustrated in that moment, because I'm just like, holy crap, like, I know how much I work on myself, and I know it's a little bit above average from what I've been told. That sounds so bad. That sounds so bad. But
it does. But you guys, we've seen multiple therapists, and every therapist is like freaking enamored with Orson. It's crazy.
And I don't love saying that, because I feel like it puts me on a high horse, which I definitely don't feel myself or look at myself in that way.
No, you don't. But unfortunately, the bar is so low for men that everyone's like, oh my gosh.
In a sense, yes. And so I found myself just getting frustrated, because I was like, if I'm feeling this, I know there's so many other parents out there that also feel the same thing, and so many other people out there that feel the same thing. And I wanted to make a post, because I'm getting back into that daily thing again of, like, we just need to, like, just be better.
Yeah.
In all aspects and all around. Raise the standard and hold the standard. Like, if you're really with somebody that wants to be with you, then you're going to know by their actions. And you're going to know that they want to be with you because they raise the standard and they try to work on themselves, as well as putting the time aside to be there for you and hold the space for you to be able to become the person that you need to become. And they're patient with you and not trying to force you along this whole journey because they want you to be a certain way. And it's like, all these different type of things, it goes both ways. It's like we both need to be patient with each other enough to let the other person grow at their own pace, but still choose to be in the relationship. Like, I want to be in the boat.
What boat?
Our relationship boat.
Okay.
So I guess I felt like I can feel myself getting like a little bit like, ugh.
I know, you're going on a rant right now.
I was going on a rant, but it was just like, I saw this Mel Robbins post, and I'll kind of tie this in, and it kind of comes from me reading that Let Them Theory book that she wrote recently that's been pretty popular. And it was a shot of her kind of on a podcast, and she was just talking about, and my thought process just went out the door, and I totally lost my train of thought.
That's okay. I can say something. So when you were talking about like the phone thing and Scarlett and being a dad, whatever, I saw something that said like your child is only like a kid, or like your child is only a toddler baby for 4 years is all you get. And then they're a kid. And they're a teen. Like, it just goes by so fast. So when you think about it that way, it's like actually really sad. Mm-hmm. Like, we're only gonna get 4 years of like baby Scarlett. It's really sad.
It is really sad. And it's like that's why I try to,
like, that also just makes me sad too, that like dads or I'm specifically saying dads because that's just like the norm, okay? So don't come for me like, oh, women too. I get it, but dads specifically, mostly, miss out and they just don't know. And it's sad. How do you not know your kids? I also saw, this also could be fake. I'm very well aware, but it was like Jimmy Kimmel or something. It was like on Father's Day. So a while ago, I saw this TikTok. And it was just dads with their daughters out on the street. So like I said, it could be fake. But it probably wasn't.
I know what video you're talking. You showed me the video, yeah.
And they were just asking dads about their kids, like, oh, who's your daughter's teacher? And they didn't know. What was your daughter for Halloween last year? And they didn't know. And who is, like, they were just asked like simple questions, or like, what grade is your kid in? Like normal questions. And all of them, I should say, like, didn't know, because that's what they chose to show. Obviously they didn't know, or they were like, I don't know, that's their mom knows all of that. And it's just like, oh, so sad. And you see the kid on the looks on their kids' faces. It's like, are you kidding me? You didn't know what I was for Halloween last year? Like, you don't remember? Like, it's sad, you guys. So I just feel like if you're a woman in the thick of it in motherhood, and you have a thought of, I wish he would do more, just voice that. And he needs to, if you feel like he needs to do more, he probably does. And it's not you just thinking, oh, no, but he already does so much and I can't ask him to do. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because what he does so much is he goes to work most likely, or goes to school all alone, does not have to does not have to hear screaming kids all day, and you don't get a break at all except for maybe when they're napping. But then when you're napping, you have to clean. Like, your brain literally never shuts off. Where if you're at school or work, your lunch break, your 30 minutes, an hour, total peace. And I know this because I work part-time. That is literally my break, and my peace is when I go to work. Because taking care of a toddler is really hard mentally. And so I feel like, especially like maybe like real stay-at-home moms who they kind of never really worked, they think, oh my gosh, but he's at work and he works so hard, and oh my gosh, he just does so much. Yeah, but so do you. And you need to, or you should feel comfortable enough to voice that, hey, I could use some help, or I could use a day to myself, a weekend to myself. And if the dad freaks out about that because he doesn't know how, okay, we'll tell him. Show him for one weekend. Be like, okay, this Saturday, you're just going to watch me take care of the kids, and then you got it the next weekend. Like, your kids too. You know what I mean?
Yes. I do know what you mean. The thing that I was thinking about when you were like, ask him, like, so I agree with everything you said, but the thing that I thought about was, sometimes those kind of conversations, I feel like, can be dangerous in the sense of the partner that is looking for the other one to do more, or to be more, or to help, or just to do more, like whatever that looks like. I feel like a lot of it could come from them wanting this other person that they want to change. And the word change, gets like in terms of this like, if you're really talking about someone that is kind of living that sort of life, I first of all, I want to point, like, it's nothing wrong with it. If you're happy with that kind of life, that's great. Like, you don't. Like,
oh yeah, there's so many wives who like are proud trad wives, as they call them, traditional wives.
And that's great. Like, do whatever. Like, honestly, like, we're not.
I'm talking about the moms who are drowning and they feel the need to. They feel like they can't ask.
To do more.
Yeah, ask for help. Or they think that that's just not his role to help out with the kids, when it's just like, I don't know. I kind of disagree. I feel like even a trad wife, they need time to themselves, and they need breaks too, even if that is their dream life.
I mean, but they might not want any. They might not feel like they need it.
What?
Yeah, I know
Cannot
that's
relate, yeah.
you just can't relate. You just don't know
No.
what that's like. And
Yeah. All right, fine. I'll
and
give that one to you.
well, the thing that I was thinking about in terms of kind of like why they're asking for help in the first place,
Yeah.
because they're overwhelmed. They have a lot of things going on. They want some time to themselves. And so it's like, okay, if the husband hasn't already been doing some of these things, and I'm just using husband in the scenario because we're talking about that. It could go either way, honestly.
Yes, yes.
But if they're asking the husband for help and he's not doing any of those things already, the thing that I would kind of get a little bit worried about with those types of conversations is that though there would be some, like, I feel like he could come or see you coming from the perspective of, I want you to change who you fundamentally are. And I know you're making kind of like a weird face at me, but the thing that I'm thinking about is, like, if you are in that sort of relationship where he definitely has the ability and has the space and time to do more when he's home.
Yes.
Or on the weekends he's capable, but he just chooses not to be. There's some laziness, fundamental tendencies there that are kind of baked into who he is, in a sense. And to go past that would require some more change.
Yes.
And so the thing that I would be cautious of is approaching that type of situation in the sense of, okay, I want more out of this relationship. I want some more help. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I gather my thoughts enough to make sure I'm articulating myself well enough here. But if he is offended by asking that kind of stuff, then there's some deeper underlining things there that ultimately you may never be able to pull out of him. And the part that's the part that scares me a little bit, because it's like, if there are some underlining tendencies there to where he definitely has the ability to help more, he just chooses not to, and he just
So what would you suggest?
And so it's like, it's almost like you have to try your best to focus on the things that you can actually control. You can't control how much he really helps.
No.
You can't control
Unfortunately.
how he thinks about you asking for help. Even if you come from the space of, I really love you and I just need a little bit more help. If you come with that tone of voice and that mindset, he still could be offensive and feel like you're trying to defensive, yes. He could still feel like you're trying to change him. And again, this could be either or.
Yes.
And so and that's the part that I would get worried about, because in that scenario, you can't change other people. You can try to get them to change as much as you possibly want, but the reality is you won't be able to change or make them do what you want them to do. And that's the part that's scary, and that's what I mean by, are they in the boat? Are they in their relationship? Do they want to be there? Are their actions showing you that they want to be there? And if they are, and they're trying to take action towards helping more, if you come to them and say, hey, I think I would like some help, and they're trying, then that's showing that they want to be in the boat. But if they like get defensive, or they're just kind of like brush it off or something like that, then there's some things there that might be a little bit deeper in terms of why they've never really helped in the first place. And when it comes to that sort of stuff, then it's like, okay, you're just going to have to, the best approach, and this comes from that Let Them book by Mel Robbins, is like, you just have to let them, because their actions are showing who they fundamentally are as a person. And so let them be lazy. Let them not help you. But then what do you do? Hold on. So it's like, this is definitely one of the hardest topics, especially like when she talks about this in the book. She's like, these types of things are literally the hardest things for anyone to go through. And it's hard to talk about. And I don't and I'm talking about it from what I've learned from the book. I'm not talking about it from experience. So I'm not necessarily the best person to listen to. I've just read a lot of things, and that's where my knowledge comes from. But essentially what she talks about in the book is
let
how
him be lazy.
If like you can't control if he's lazy or not. You can ask for help and come from a good place and ask for it.
Okay, so you're just going to be like, okay, I'll let him be lazy, but I'm going to go. He can be lazy all he wants, but I can't deal with that anymore. So like, bye.
And that's the part that would get really difficult, because if you start focusing on the things that you can control, which are your own thoughts, actions, and beliefs, and you start focusing on yourself and you start being the example that you would want to see in him or her or whatever, man, it's just like the bottom line here is like, if you are trying to change the person, then you're fighting an uphill battle, because you're not going to change them. You just have to really decide, like, hey, if I'm going to ask this person for help,
right,
are they going to show me that they want to be a part of this relationship and they want to be in the boat? Because any relationship is going to take work.
Yes.
Whether you love the person or not, it's going to take some work that's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be some hard conversations, and you might have to go to therapy, and I recommend everyone should go to therapy, whether you're needed or not.
Yeah.
But like, ultimately you just need to pay attention to their actions, because those will always speak louder than any words.
Totally.
Okay, that's my rant.
I love that rant. Let's see. I was going to say something, but I don't want to interrupt you, so I just let you keep going. But then I forget what I'm saying. Let them be lazy. Control. You can't change them. No, you can't. But I feel like obviously asking is better than just keeping quiet.
Oh, 100% ask. Yeah, you should always communicate and ask.
Yes,
like if you're feeling those feelings of like, oh my gosh, I'm just so exhausted, I really could use some more help. Yes, communicate that. Communicate all of those types of things, even if it is scary. Say it. Also,
freaking, if he doesn't want to help out because he's too busy at work, he makes all of the money, I can't because, oh my gosh, my job, and I make money, which is like so number one thing above all, that I'll be like, okay, then I'm taking your money. And
oh my gosh.
No, let me finish this sentence.
Like, you are
I'm
just
taking your money and hiring a nanny. Nannies are not cheap. And if he's not okay with that, which he probably isn't, because he probably doesn't make that much money, then
you are like,
tough love.
Your approach to some things, it's just like,
am I wrong? If he doesn't want to help out with the kids because he's too tired at work and he makes all the money for this household, okay, great. Then I'm going to hire a nanny then. Oh, wait. You're not a millionaire? No, just kidding. You don't need to be a millionaire to have a nanny. But nannies are expensive, though. Like, definitely. I've looked into it before. To not, like, have my mom watch her sometimes just for funsies. I just wanted to see. And, I mean, they're not, like, really expensive. But it's just like, okay, all of the money that I make from my part-time job would just go to the nanny. So might as well just go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the part that I was thinking of is, it just kind of wraps back around to what I was saying, is like, you ask them for help and they don't want to give the help. It's just kind of like, okay, well, let them be lazy, and then let yourself do everything you can to get what it is that you need.
Yeah.
Like if you need help, like you said, look into getting an nanny. Like do everything on your part that you can actually control, which is, like you say, looking for a nanny or looking for alternatives to help get you the space that you need to recover and really focus on yourself, to recharge, to be the best version of yourself for your kids.
I know, and I feel so bad because moms feel so guilty to just like you said, like some people don't need that because I don't know. I just feel like I don't agree. Maybe I just haven't met a mom like that who are just like, oh, I am so happy just staying home in my bubble and that is it. Like, and not needing a break. I just feel like that's like, what? Like you need time away. Like you said, recharge. Like that's good for you and that's good for the overall household, because if you have your cup filled, then everybody else's can. Like if a mom is running on empty, oh, she's probably just snapping at her kids, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Maybe not.
You've had
like,
you've had like family members and stuff have like come to us and is like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm just not a very nice mom right now. Like, you know, like when your cup is empty, it's hard to be the best mom you can be. Duh. So that's all I'm saying. And I feel like when you have a partner who doesn't contribute in that sense, it's really sad. And I feel like it should be more normalized. And it shouldn't be like, oh, he's a hands-on dad. It should just be like, he's a dad. And if you wouldn't consider your husband a hands-on dad, then what's going on here? I'm trying not to be mean, but that's just how I see it. And I feel like the more like people talk about it, the more like awareness per se, people just kind of look inwards of their life of, okay, like what do I actually want? Because some people just feel like they're stuck and they're not if they just like communicate. Point. What's a good point?
You have to know what you want.
Yeah.
And I think that's really probably the first step with all of this. And like, just to make this clear, and I feel like we say this in every episode whenever we're talking about this kind of stuff, but like, we're not therapists.
No.
Like, we've just been going to therapy for a long time. And so we've learned a few things. I mean, a long time being like 4 or 5 years, which I feel like going to therapy consistently for that long is a good amount of time.
I would say more than most. Probably, right? My parents haven't been to therapy 4 or 5 years consistently. They've been married for, let's see, I'm going to be coming up on 30 years.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, I just wanted to make that clear because it's like what was I going to say? Because I was going down that path because then I was going to say something else that ultimately kind of helped tie that all together. And you said
what you want.
Oh, yes, what you want. Yes, thank you. And I feel like that's one of the first steps that any of us really need to take is we really need to understand what it is that we do want. And you have to first understand what that life looks like for yourself. And then you second need to know how you show up in that life. And then from there, if you can start becoming that person that shows up in your current life as if you're already living that life that you ultimately want to be living, then you start looking at the other things in your life that aren't in alignment with that future you're trying to create. But it all stems from, what do I actually want? And even with a husband that's not hands-on or he seems lazy or something like that, that could be a big reason because he just doesn't know what he wants, or he just feels stagnant. Maybe he feels stuck. Maybe those dads out there that maybe aren't hands-on, they never had a good example of what it really looks like to be a good parent, or what it looks like to raise the standard and hold the standard. Maybe they haven't, like, there's all these.
That's why
there's
communication is key for sure.
Yeah, communication is key, but like there's also so many other factors to remember when we're talking about all this stuff, because everybody out there is just doing the best that they know. Everyone out there is doing the best that they can with the information that they've had access to. And we've all had different life experiences that bring about different types of personalities in ourselves. Like the way that it works is like we've had different personalities, and those personalities we've all had
my gosh.
We have all had different experiences, and we've all attached meanings to those experiences, and eventually those meanings that we attach end up becoming the personality that we ultimately create in ourselves. I mean, our personalities, I don't necessarily think that they're baked into us when we were born.
Really?
I think they're more something that as we're born and we grow up, we observe the world and we start attaching meanings to different circumstances, and those meanings, we start attaching feelings to those meanings, and those feelings produce emotions that match the equivalent of those feelings, and it's a cycle. Yeah. And then we start feeling the same way over and over again, and then ultimately we start feeling this way, and that becomes our personality.
There's you literally went like this, and then you do this, and then you do this. There are so many steps you just said.
I don't think I laid it out very well, but there's like a whole, like, it's back, like, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and I actually try to explain it correctly.
No,
but
I
it's
agree
just
with you
like,
though.
I guess just to kind of bring it full circle, the end my thought, it's just like, if you don't know what you want and where you're trying to go, how can you determine that if your current reality is what it is that you actually want?
Totally.
And
I feel like a lot of people are just like living life. They're not really thinking. Like, I always said that I definitely did that before I had Scarlett. And it literally wasn't until I had her where I was like, oh my gosh, like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do with her? Like, and it completely changed me, I think. Maybe that's like too dramatic of me to say. I feel like it does. Maybe that's just me because I turned 25. I don't know. What do you think? You've been married to me since I was a child, pretty much. So,
I mean, I don't think that's too dramatic for you to say. I mean, having a baby is a life-altering thing, and it's good that it makes you think, and it's good that it prompts you to really think about how you want to raise this person, because it's like, what do I want her to believe? Because now she's gonna have her own thoughts and beliefs, but they come from watching you and watching me. So it's important to think like that. I mean, yeah, I suppose. But should we wrap it up? Because I was gonna.
Yes. Yep.
I was gonna say, like, the last thought with all of this that I feel like I would share is just like, we're all humans, and we're all in this world together, and I think we all need to do a better job at having compassion for one another and being patient with people, because ultimately there might be things you don't even know about your partner that they haven't shared with you that might be causing them to be quote unquote lazy or things like that. So it's just so important to communicate with them and try to just love them for who they are right here and right now, not wishing that they're someone else. And so it's like, when you are able to love someone with the kind of Christ-like love that I'm talking about, because I feel like Christ would look at them and love them for who they are, not for who he wants them to be. And so when you're able to have that kind of love for people, and you're giving me this weird look, but it's like, when you're able to look at them and look past their flaws and just appreciate who they are, and recognize that, like, hey, if I don't love this reality, I don't have to be in this forever. But I'm going to communicate and do everything I can on my end to help him or her, or do whatever I can, because we're all trying to do the best that we can with the information that we have.
I know you're going very deep into it. I wasn't expecting that. I don't really think that way. So I was just like, point blank, period. If your husband's a loser, talk to him. That's all I was trying to say.
And I'm saying that there's no such thing as like a loser.
What?
I think that's more, I mean, I guess there probably are losers.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm not like totally writing off what you're saying, but I don't know. I think just you're coming from a man's perspective. I'm coming from the woman's perspective. And I obviously just feel for the women more, obviously. And so that's just where I'm coming from. And so I just want to make it known that hands-on, like I've been saying, I don't think hands-on dad should be a phrase or a thing. I think it should just happen. And it's sad that, I mean,
it's sad that it seems like it's not a reality for a lot of people.
So many people. I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
Which is crazy, because I feel like,
literally, like I just said in this podcast, 2 weeks. We've had Scarlett for 2 weeks, and people were shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is sad for the women out there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Life is weird.
My dad, no tea, no shade, but he didn't even hold us until we were able to hold up our head. So I don't even remember. Maybe like 5 or 6 months. That like not a wobbly head either. Like, your head is stable. So that's probably at least 6 months. Probably, I would say. And my mom just had to like deal with that. That's really sad. Scarlett too. That never changed when he was a grandpa. Like, he didn't hold Scarlett either until she could like really hold up her head.
And you're saying like that you wouldn't put up with that kind of stuff.
No. But I don't think my mom knew that going in. I don't even think he knew that about himself, because it just like freaked him out, the wobbly head, which I understand. But yeah, some people are willing to quote unquote put up with different things and I totally understand that.
There's a lot of compromise in relationships.
But for me, of course, that would not fly. And so I don't know. That would actually be a tough one. Now that I just brought up that scenario, like, obviously, like,
yeah, and I think that's
if you're still a good dad, then, but not holding, then you wouldn't be able to help at all if you weren't holding them. So I don't know. That would be hard. But I can't be like, peace out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seems that's a hard one for sure.
Well, that's
but
where
I'm just sorry. Go ahead.
I keep saying that's what.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, and that's the important thing in terms of like, you got to remember that we're all just trying to do our best, and like you said, there's going to be some things that you're just okay with.
Yeah,
and if you're okay with putting up with stuff like that, that's great. If you're not, then speak up.
What would you say your dad was like? I know your situation was different. I'm the oldest child, so my mom had me. I believe she was only 21. My dad, I think, was 24. So they were young. Your parents were much older, and you were the last. Mm-hmm. So I bet they were totally like. What would you say your dad was like? Would you say that he was pretty hands-on?
I mean, I would think so. I haven't really heard many stories about him being hands-on or not hands-on. I mean, I know he was at work a lot, so I don't know.
Your mom worked?
I don't know. When I was a baby, I don't know.
Oh, really? She didn't?
Know. I mean, when I was a baby, we were in Kansas, so I don't really know exactly what was happening during those like first couple of years of my life, at least.
Sad. You should ask.
Oh, like
probably no one remembers. That's the sad thing is all these people around Orson are so old they don't remember anything.
Well, I know during that time of my life it was really hard for both my parents. Because it's like my mom moved to Arizona without him.
Oh.
And took the entire family because she was like, you have to figure your shiz out, basically.
Oh, you were a baby when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my probably assumption or guess was that he wasn't very helpful in that way. That would be my guess.
I don't know that that's a fair assumption. I think he probably was, and this is what I mean by like he was probably trying his best. But like it wasn't enough for what my mom was wanting.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, hey, clearly they tried talking about it and all that sort of stuff. So it was probably just more of like, here's what I want. I need you to decide if you want to be in the boat.
Yes.
And
you love that metaphor today.
I do, yeah. But just.
So she communicated what she wanted. That's amazing for her. And clearly they stayed together up until she passed away. Rest in peace.
So nice of you.
So yeah, clearly he did something different for obviously. Anyway,
well, I know
so that's really good that she communicated what she wanted and needed.
I know that time of life was also hard because like money was an issue. So there was just a lot of things. Like it was just a hard time of life in terms of being married, and because like he also came from a relationship where I mean that's not something that we need to get into because it's not my story.
Yeah, let's not.
But it's just like there was just a lot of things going on, and I think it's important to remember with these type of situations that there's a lot of things going on inside of someone's brain that we never really know of.
It's true.
And so
that's
it's
what
like
I'm saying, Orson, you keep coming back and I keep coming back with the same thing, is you just need to talk as couples to see what is the expectations and wants and needs. And if they don't align, then life is going to be really hard and it shouldn't be. That's all. Well,
if they don't align, then you just keep talking and you work through it. If you want to be in the boat, you.
No, I get it, but at a certain point, you're gonna like if you're so miserable in life, like for many years, therapy, like, you shouldn't keep going. You will be happier elsewhere. You know, I'm very pro divorce. I tell everybody, leave your husband. Divorce, babe, divorce.
Yeah, I don't love you saying that because that's very unhealthy of you.
But I do.
Like you gotta.
So
I
sorry,
don't love that you assume the worst. Like you gotta assume the No, I don't love that you say that.
Well, that's good that we disagree on something. You know.
Yeah, but the way that you say it is just too lighthearted for me. It's just like divorce is such a serious topic, and you're like divorce, babe, divorce.
No, of course. Of course it's serious. That's what I'm saying. Like many years.
But you make it seem like
unhappiness. Like you shouldn't be unhappy for that for many years.
I get it, but you've never been in that type of situation where you've had to leave someone like that. So it's easy for you to say divorce.
No, of course. I understand
and so
that.
it's
Of
easy
course.
for you to say all of those things because you've never actually gone through it. If you had actually gone through it, you might think a little bit differently.
No, you're definitely right. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
And so I'm just like, you got to be a little bit careful when you like talk about this kind of stuff because you've never actually gone through it.
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
That's toxic of me, but I can express that and I'm aware of that. So
Okay, I guess that's all that really matters.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the rants today. It was very ranty, especially on your end, which I kind of love.
I don't do that very often, do I? But that was, oh my gosh, I'm looking at the camera and Scarlett snotted all over my shoulder.
Oh my gosh. I think I have some too. Somewhere over here, I think.
No, I don't see any.
You can't really tell.
But in the camera on mine, you can see.
She's had a runny nose today, guys. So I've been swiping up all of her boogies.
Cute.
But anyway.
All right, guys.
So it's going to be a little bit busy for us these past couple weeks. So this episode is going up. So today's Friday because we're busy tomorrow and we literally came here on a Friday when we normally come on Saturday. So like, you're welcome. So this episode's going up on the 28th. And unfortunately for you guys, we are so many weddings going on for both the weekends of, we have a wedding August 1st and August 2nd. So that's a weekend that we can't get in here. And I'm so sorry. We have to come on the weekends to get a babysitter. Scarlett, you know the drill. And then the next weekend is my grandpa's wedding and so many families coming into town. Like we can't get in here that next weekend either. So the next week, and we can record. Oh no, it's gonna be very late, you guys. Is the weekend of August 15th and 16th, which means the next episode is gonna be August 18th. That's a long time.
Okay.
Sorry, but that makes me sad. I mean, obviously, if we can try, we will. But as of right now, that's the sketch. So you're welcome for letting you know.
All right, let's wrap this up and go home. It's 11.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one, which will not be for a long time.